I'm going to be doing a really unique journey today. So, my friend Joseph Bradley and we are going to be journeying to Shambhala. He's not able to do it at the exact same time as me, but he's going to be doing his own journey. We'll be uploading it to the Amin Ross YouTube channel. My video camera is behind me. Hold on, I'm pausing this. Okay. His session's gonna be uploaded to the Amin Ross YouTube channel. So AMON space ROS. And once it's uploaded, I'll put a link in here so that way you can access his video. So I'm just gonna relax and then we're gonna do a journey to Shambhala. Okay. Do you know what Shambhala is? I probably should do a little bit of background. So it's a sort of a mythical place. It's hidden in the Himalayan mountains, and only someone with a pure heart can access this place. That's what I know about it. I also know that I think it was World War II that the Nazis had done an exploration in the Himalayan mountains in order to try to find Shambhala, but they were unsuccessful. So I'm going to be doing a journey there and we'll see what comes, okay? Okay. The spirit is interrupting me again. They're wanting you to think about what Shambhala means to you. It's a city of love. It's a higher dimensional frequency of love. Who lives there? Human beings live there. Alien beings live there. Spiritual beings live there. Is Shambhala a real place to you, or is it a place you could only find in your heart? Do you think you could actually travel there? Do you think that in this lifetime you could find yourself in the Himalayan mountains and actually go there? Spirit wants you to think about these things. Spirit actually wants you to think about these things. It's value. There's value to having these contemplations. There's value to exploring this. And it's a positive space. It's a high vibrational space. It's a welcoming space. It's a love space. It's a heaven space manifest. You could incarnate there. So Spirit is wanting you to explore how this Shambhala, what it means to you. If you think you could actually travel there, maybe you could astral project and go to Shambhala and hang out there, what it would look like, what it would be like. Spirit wants you to just fill your mind, fill your heart, fill your energy field with really positive frequencies, really positive thoughts, happy thoughts. And then we're going to go from there, okay? So I'm going to focus now. We'll see. We'll see if I get interrupted again. Okay. All right. So I'm allowed to relax and it feels really heavy, weighted, heavy energy. It's kind of exhausting. Really solid feeling. Really overwhelming my mental body. It feels like so dense. I like clay, pliable. It becomes hardens and becomes clay, but really thick. Soil that hardens and becomes clay. I keep thinking of orangey brown soil that becomes clay. Even think about clay pots. I think about children with like orangey brown skin. I'm telling you, it's exhausting. I mean, I feel so heavy. I feel like an elephant, plus another elephant, plus another elephant, plus another elephant. And it's really weighing down in my head. It's very exhausting in my head. I really am going there. It's not showing anything more than this right now. There is a movement. It's even though it's solid, even though it's heavy, it still can move fast. I'm in motion. I think of snakes and meandering motions. I think of roller coasters and ups and downs. I keep seeing orangey brown, and I keep thinking of soils that harden and create clay. I think of a odd-shaped clock. The internal gears that inspire the clock to have motion. The clock then becomes wise. The clock then teaches us about time. Time as identified by the human race as counting hours, minutes, seconds, days. Time now is wise. If the gears of the clock were to break down, now how do we calculate time? Now human beings must become the wise ones. Now human beings must become as wise as time. If the clock continues to work, now the clock is wise. If the calculator works, now the calculator is wise. If the computer works, now the computer is wise. Does the human being work? Is the human being wise? Or only the creations that man makes are those wise? Mankind then is not wise, only creations made by man are wise. There is water dripping into a clay pot. It is filling up with water. The water is clear. It looks almost silvery blue. I feel broken. There is some sort of master, some sort of ancient energy here. I feel humbled, but I literally, the only way I could describe it is I feel the soul, the experience of being human. It shatters the soul, it breaks the soul down in order to be molded and shaped in different ways. And his energy reflection is so pure and so wise and powerful. To be in his presence, I feel all of the broken parts of my own soul as I'm standing next to a perfectly formed clay pot that is holding water that is absolutely like a silvery color. It's ridiculously extraordinary looking, and there are drops of water that go in one after another after another. This man energy feels as masculine, has no face, is simply the energy, the consciousness, is wise. He finds it peculiar that I call him wise. Man did not make me. We're talking right now about this. I seem to be done speaking to him already. I can't stop thinking about the water in this pot. We were talking about wisdom. We were talking about how wisdom is created. How wisdom is created by man through objects. How wisdom is created through thought, which is not an object at all. It's simply an idea. It's a philosophy. What is thought? How do you build thought? How do you build a spirit? How do you build wisdom as a philosophical thought or that kind? He is more powerful as the wisdom frequency. He is also love, but the love power is not what is being expressed here more than the wisdom is also love. It's not. Sometimes you can feel really powerful love energy, but this is really powerful wise energy, very wise energy, really expressing wise energy. So we were talking about this. How are we I was having energetic interaction with him. I was not speaking in language at all to him. We were looking at how fast can you look at images of man-made building things and talking about you can have very fast psychic conversations. Language is so slow and words are misunderstood. Language is so slow. I just keep looking at the water in the pot. But I will not drink it. I feel there's something sacred about it, and I would not disturb that water unless it was allowed. Even if I was thirsting for thousands and thousands of years, I would not drink it unless it was allowed, I say to him. I cry before him. I say that is not my water to drink. I am still in a reddish brown space, and I don't know whether to withdraw myself or to just cry or what I should do. He is very wise, and it helps me to experience my soul in a way that I can't access it without his energy gift. We are all reflections of each other. As human beings, how do we access our infinite soul? By looking into each other if we ourselves cannot grow any more than this. Then you stand before an essence that is ridiculously pure and wise, profound energy caliber, and now you start to discover what true wisdom is, or what true love feels like, the purity of it. You cannot access the purity of it if all of the human beings around you are not reflections of purity themselves. They too are more of the same broken energies. You find yourself when you stand before one that is this profound. I just bow before him and say thank you. This is not me worshiping. This is me simply saying thank you and sharing reverence and gratitude that he could step forward to help me feel, experience, and know more about myself, and learn something from him as well. I'm not allowed to see the space. I'm not allowed to see what he looks like. I'm simply allowed to feel reddish brown sand, some sort of soil that becomes clay. That's all I'm able to see. So I simply tell him I'm not certain what to do right now. It's just quiet patience. I am sharing an energy frequency of love. I am speaking to him about how we can discover ourselves as a human race, discover ourselves on this level of value with this energetic reflection of his. We can know ourselves in a new way. It's all becoming softer and softer and more quiet. I'm looking down It's like looking down a well, but it's also like looking through a kaleidoscope, and there's lots of spinning, and the spinning creates different designs as well, different designs made out of lines and dots, different colors. It keeps spinning and spinning. It's like looking down a well, looking through a kaleidoscope, and looking through a telescope as well. But I don't see beyond. I only can see only so far. And in only so far as I can only see the colors and movements of patterns. Sometimes they make shapes, even like a butterfly or a star. I just keep. Something about this too is really overwhelming to me. I feel like crying again. I tell him I feel so lost here. I'm so tired of this. A world that keeps holding on so tight to the illusions and the fear and the ego. A world where the dam will not break, and the water to flow through, and bounty of love and generosity and kindness, and souls in love and reverence of each other. I feel that this, whatever this is, I recognize it as somehow very familiar, and it's a gift, a powerful, meaningful gift of some kind. I know it sounds simple, but there's more meaning than what I'm describing, and I don't, as a human being, don't understand fully what it all is about. But I know it's a part of me now because it has been given to me, which means it has been given to you too, even though we may not fully understand it. It's a download of wisdom and energy. It's a gift. I ask him, how will I heal the world of pain and suffering? He could simply stand before me, and I would cry like shattered glass. He could transform so much just simply by being himself. Human beings, how will we find a way to become that power of energy? He is there, he is watching me and listening to me, but he is even more silent and distant in perception, but he cannot hide from me. I say you could be the tiniest atom, but I can still access you. He is becoming even smaller now. He is showing me how small I felt in his presence. And I felt so small that I felt I did not belong here, that I should leave, that I should walk away from the door, that I was not worthy of the water unless it was granted to me. He says that is how small I felt. And I wanted to become hidden. He reminds me how we manifest what we feel inside, we manifest. So I have to choose to acknowledge that even in his presence, his wise presence, that I am welcome. I am allowed to drink of the water. I am allowed to be there, to be present there. We're talking. I have a memory when I was little. When I would get scared, I would I would never go into my parents' room because did never wanted to wake them up. And so instead, I'd always fall asleep right by their door, and I would just sleep there all night. Why wouldn't I ever go in their room and wake them up? I didn't want to wake them up. I didn't. They needed. I don't know how to explain it. But there was something in that I should know that that it was okay. Be okay to enter. It's okay to enter here too. So again, to talk about that, either I could sort of like a child going in and experiencing this profoundness, feeling overwhelmed by it, so I could fall asleep by the doorway, or I could just come in and know that I'm welcome. That is what we're talking about right now. I explore something. I am just seeing. I want to just see what happens here. We're talking about souls. We're talking about souls as they have endured a journey, an experience of the light and the dark sides. Dark, not as the beautiful side of darkness, but the destructive side. So, souls that endure the experience of being destructive of self and others. And talking to him about Shambhala being a place that is of love, a place that is hidden. This is exhausting. This is very exhausting to relay this conversation right now. Basically, we explored the destruction of Shambhala. We explored me, myself, bringing in the pestilence of the human race. Me, myself, bringing in the darkness, the corruption, the chaos into Shambhala to see if Shambhala would be broken by it or destroyed by it. But it doesn't have a place there. It just doesn't exist there, period. So I was talking to him about how the human race could release that side of itself. Because ego itself is the demon. Ego itself is the monster. Ego itself is the part of us that can't let go of hatred, that cannot forgive, that does not choose to be compassionate, that chooses to spray paint really disturbing messages on the side of beautiful buildings made thousands of years ago, or beautiful rock structures, earth-made creations. I mean, ego is what manifests a monetary world of greed and poverty, sorrow, depression, all kinds of stuff, materialism. all of this stuff. So ego is the destruction. Ego is the monster. So how do we purify the human race so that it can release from ego in order to attain a frequency like he has, so to speak? That we would know that we are welcome to be at peace, we are welcome to fill ourselves with love instead of feel overwhelmed by love, feel the brokenness of ourselves and not sure how to heal those parts of ourselves. Have you ever felt the broken side of yourself? Have you ever been so hurt inside your heart that you did not know how to move forward in life? I think everybody has endured something of this kind. And that would be similar to what I felt, where I just felt absolutely every terrible memory somehow like a soul that has lots of holes in it. Because the memories, you can heal the memories all you want, but the memories are a part of your totality, right? So somehow you are still a part of all that you are. You still experience that even in the human consciousness, in the life, time itself. So I'm filled with holes as I'm talking to him. I don't know how much longer I can do this channeling. It's exhausting. I'm not allowed to see anything. Only the reddish brown clay that becomes the clay pot. I'm going to explore drinking the water. Instead of drinking it, I say that I'm already it. I already am the clay pot full of beautiful water. In order to get that thing that you long for, that you desire, you acknowledge you already are it. You already have it. You already a part of it. Not to try to they show me what are human beings with unfillable holes, so they keep trying to find out there what they truly want to feel balanced with inside their heart. So they keep, buying things or something in the form of creating some sort of nourishment through they need more of the same, but it's not actually healing them. It's not filling their infinite hole, their infinite void. It's just giving them more of nothing. And so in the end, how are they actually healing? They have to finally come to acceptance of their life and say they already have everything they need right here, because they are all that they need. They are, their body is, their heart is, their mind. They are enough. I am enough. They are already all that they are desiring out there is already, they have all that they need. They are taken care of. Okay. Now I'm allowed to move forward. Some sort of dragonfly. I see it hovering overhead. I can look down and see myself walking through two doors that just opened up, also made of a reddish brown clay. It's like I'm walking into the mouth, an actual mouth. It's like I'm walking into somebody's mouth. It's like a large dragon or something's mouth. There's a tongue and everything. But I'm not. I'm just walking through the doorway. I'm not able to see what's on the other side of the doorway. I think about fancy things. I think about Asian culture. I think about fancy designs, fancy objects, fancy Asian culturally designed walls, and it is something like wood carved walls with color, some sort of color on them. I can't explain it, but there's something about patterns, color, ornately designed, exquisitely designed structures. I just keep thinking that, even though I can't see anything. I'm walking down some stairs. I'm going down, down, down. I'm totally blind. But I seem to know my way, following my heart. I'm in the basement of a space. I'm looking at maps and graphs and just sort of like, soldiers, military men trying to plot, make decisions and plot things out. That's sort of what the feel is, and there's maps on a table, and then someone smoking a cigar in here. That sort of reminds me of World War II, trying to find Shambhala. I walk through that space. I walk into somewhere else. I'm walking even deeper. I'm going deeper. It gets redder as I go deeper. I walk through memories. The memories are not definable other than they look like berries that have been smashed. And they're goopy and gooey and sticky. I see all types of human things, really happy connections, interactions with animals, romantic relationships. I see smiles. I look down a drain and see a pattern of like flower petals spinning. I stop where I am and I look up and I see there is an opening way, way, way above my head, way high up. The drain is starting to be made out of gold. They were all just feathers, resting at the bottom of a drain. The whole place is starting to turn into gold. Starting to glow. It's not necessarily gold, it's like a rock that glows golden. I'm in the center of a space that is made out of gold and sort of has pathways that lead in all sacred directions. And I am in the center. So you have north, east, southwest, above, below, in the center, but there are no pathways going up or down, just outward, but there's like northeast, southeast, southwest in those directions, and I'm in the center. I choose to walk on not a pathway. It's just gold, but it's not smooth. I'm walking northwest, but not on the northwest pathway. I'm walking between north and northwest. He's talking to me about how we manifest wisdom. He shows me that the directions are very much like a clock with 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then we have, in between each of the numbers, we have numbers. I say I don't like to walk on the pre-made pathway. I want to see what's not on the pathway. I want to go the unpredictable route. I want to see something different. I keep walking on the unpredictable pathway. it's not unpredictable, so to speak, but it's not a pre-created pathway. It's sort of just like it's ruffled gold. I don't know how to describe it. I'm still walking forward. He is sort of back to the side and watching me. I say, you're taking me on a journey through my own mind. We're exploring wisdom, not the heart portal, but the wisdom, the mind, the higher mind. That is what you're doing. He says, does wisdom come from a clock? Does wisdom come from time? I choose to walk my own pathway. I choose to walk my own pathway because I choose to be different. I choose to learn different things. I choose to learn on a level that is different than other people. I don't want to follow the same pathway as everybody else. Same options. I want to do things that are outside the box. I'm sort of losing interest in discovering Shambhala because I'm learning it is just a journey in the mind and the spirit of the mind. It's a journey into wisdom that is transformative and healing for the soul, for the pathway. It's self-discovery for the human race. I say to him, I no longer feel the need to find Shambhala anymore. I say I feel at peace within myself. I thank him for visiting with me. There's a frequency, a very powerful energy that is being shared, and I'm experiencing just the red-brown clay again. I feel at peace. I feel I am Shambhala. I feel I am the clay pot of water. I feel I am this wise man. I feel I am these things. Not that they are separate or something I have to journey to find, but that I already am them. And he says that you need to discover that these are also already in you as well. You already are the sacred water. You already are the sacred energy. You already are the wisdom. You already are Shambhala. But the reality is you cannot be healed by Shambhala. You cannot be healed until you go within yourself and feel vulnerable. Allow yourself to feel vulnerable, ashamed, embarrassed, broken. Feel those human emotions and then learn how to overcome them and love yourself anyway. And then to face the possibilities and heal through those choices. And now discover there is no separation from you and from love, from you and from wisdom, from you and a portal of color and patterns and new discoveries, from you and an infinite pathway with infinite potential. There isn't just 4 directions or 8 directions. There's infinite potential directions. Just because they are laid out in gold does not mean they are the perfect pathway for you. In the end, you have to follow your heart. And if your heart leads you off of the pathway, then that is exactly as it is meant to be. And now you are discovering the Shambhala within you. You are discovering the master teacher within you. You're discovering you are the wise. You are the wise one. There is a closing of the doors. I'm standing outside the doors and I bow and I see the clay pot with the water in it. And I say thank you to Shambhala for this gift of wisdom for me in my life. This ended up being a me journey. You should also do this. You should also go to Shambhala because this has healed me. This can heal you too. You should just go into your mind's eye and find yourself standing outside of some red-brown doors in a clay world with a clay pot with drips of water going into it. That's just my personal scene. It could be totally different for you. It could be a golden pyramid with a door and a giant dragon on the outside of it. I don't know. It could be in outer space. Maybe it isn't inside the Himalayan mountains. Maybe it is in outer space. I don't know. Only you can find your own Shambhala. Only you can. And only you can be healed by choosing to actively pursue your own Shambhala. That's it. That's all. Okay, that was really super long. Okay, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you for watching it all the way through. Good for you. If you're interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.